Hello, dear students. Myself, Pratibha Hingole. Let's continue our novel Around the World in 80 Days. We already have started whatever synopsis, means synopsis we already have completed, and chapter 34 we already have started line wise. So, let's continue. Page number 191 we already have covered. Let's continue with page number 192. So, see here. Passepartout wept till he was blind and felt like blowing his brains out. What it means? So, here exaggeration is used. Okay. So, it means he cried so hard that his eyes were full of tears. Right? Passepartout wept till he was blind. Means he cried too much. He cried so hard that his eyes were full of tears and his vision was blurred. His vision was blurred, so here blind word is used. Felt like blowing his brains out. It means he felt so hopeless and desperate that he wanted to end his life. Means here both the phrases which are used here in this line, those are strong. Exaggeration is there. Okay. Now in the next paragraph, Aouda and he had remained despite the cold under the portice of the custom house. Neither wished to leave the place. Both were anxious to see fog again. So here this passage which is mentioned here, it means Aouda and Passepartout stayed outside the custom house waiting. They both were outside the custom house. And what we have seen at the starting, that when Fix arrested Fogg, he kept him at the custom house and afterwards he is going to take him to London. Right? So Passepartout and Aouda, both of these, they were stayed outside the custom house. Even though it was cold outside, they are just waiting outside. They didn't want to leave because both were very worried and eager to see Fogg again. So again what it shows loyalty and concern. Aouda, who cares deeply for Fogg, and Passepartout, his faithful servant. Even both are unwilling to abandon him, even in such condition, even in such hard conditions. Right? The gentleman was really ruined, and at the moment when he was about to attain his end, means at this moment he is going to complete his journey, and at this time he was arrested. So what will be the result of it? May possible that he will lost his bet. So and he already spent all his money in this journey. So that's the reason here it is said that gentleman Phileas Fogg was really ruined, and that at the moment when he was about to attain his end, when he was about to complete his journey within time. This arrest was fatal. Having arrived at Liverpool at 20 minutes before 12 on the 21st of December, he had till a quarter before 9 that evening to reach the Reform Club. That is 9 hours and a quarter. The journey from Liverpool to London was 6 hours. Okay. What happened? Actually, Phileas Fogg is arrested when he arrives in Liverpool. Which day? On 21st December. At what time? At 12:40 in the morning. 20 minutes before 12 o'clock. ठीक है? Fogg is arrested when he arrives in Liverpool on 21st December at 11:40 am. That is in the morning. Means 20 minutes before 12 in the afternoon, 12 o'clock. According to his wagger, according to his bet, he must reach the Reform Club in London by 8:45 pm. ठीक है? By 8:45 pm. A quarter before 9. A quarter before 9 means what? रिफॉर्म क्लब को उसको रात को 8:45 बजे तक पहुंचना था. ठीक है? सो दैट गिव्स हिम 9 hours and 5 minutes in total. Means if you'll count from 12 o'clock. ठीक है? So it gives him, so it's 11:40 and he has to reach till 8:45. So how much time he has with him? 9 hours and 5 minutes in total. So the train journey from Liverpool to London, it takes nearly 6 hours. So if he is released immediately, he has enough time, about 3 hours spare. Means he has extra 3 hours because the journey is of 6 hours and he has 9 hours with him. So he has extra 3 hours spare. Right? But because of this arrest, his precious time, his valuable time is wasted. So this delay makes it seem impossible for him to win the bet. Means you can write in the examination, Mr. Fogg was arrested at Liverpool on 21st December at 11:40 am. He had to reach the Reform Club in London by 8:45 pm. The same day to win the wager, which gave him just 9 hours, means over 9 hours, since the journey from Liverpool to London itself took 6 hours and delay caused by arrest put his success in, means in danger. Right? So that's what is mentioned here in this passage. If anyone at this moment had entered the custom house, he would have found Mr. Fogg seated motionless. Okay, means if anyone, if you'll see, if someone had walked into the custom house, just then they would have seen Mr. Fogg sitting absolutely still without moving. So it shows his self-control and calmness in a tense moment. Again, it also creates a visual image that a man is frozen in thought or waiting, which builds again suspense. So this condition, this if anyone had entered, makes the reader feel like an observer, peeking in, drawing us closer to Fogg's state. So we can say that Fogg's composure, despite of the crisis, is seated motionless, a sign of calm and disciplined nature. And with this we can see here the nature of Phileas Fogg. The conditional statement, again, because of this what happened, it adds just the dramatic effect. Calm and without apparent anger, means he is not showing anger on his face, but he remains calm, he remains motionless. Upon a wooden bench he was means he sat and he was just still. बैठा था उधर and he was still. He was not, it is true, resigned, but this last blow failed to force him into an outward betrayal of any emotion. ठीक है? He was not, it is true, resigned, but this last blow failed to force him into an outward betrayal of any emotion. Mr. Fogg had completely given up his hope. It means not resigned. Mr. Fogg had not है ना? Mr. Fogg had not completely given up his hope. It means that this is the meaning of not resigned. But even after this final shock, he did not show any feelings outwardly. Means though he is not completely given up, but he is not showing anything on his face. So again with this we just see the we can say the character. He remains calm, controlled, again inner struggle, not resigned, and outward calmness. So all these things are shown here. है ना? The contrast between the inner struggle, inside he is struggling, and his outward calmness, outside he is just showing that he is very calm. So it shows his discipline and dignity, isn't it? Then कहाँ तक आया? हाँ. Was he being devoured by one of those rags, all the more terrible because contained, and which only burst forth with the irresistible force at the last moment? No one could tell. Okay, so here the narrator, again this narrator wonders, surprised, if Mr. Fogg was being consumed by suppressed anger. Means one of those rags, it means. Okay, here it is one of those secret rags. So is it so that Mr. Fogg was being consumed by suppressed anger? मतलब उसका गुस्सा दबा के बैठा है. A kind of fury that is frightening because it is hidden and only explodes the unstoppable power at the very last moment, and no one could be sure what he was truly feeling inside. Means there is no feeling, only calmness is seen on his face. That's the reason no one can guess. So here suppressed emotion, this line shows that Fogg appears calm. There may be intense feeling boiling beneath the surface. मतलब गुस्सा अंदर से उबल रहा है, but he is not showing it to these people. Again, imagery of destruction, that is irresistible force of such rage or of such anger is compared of an explosion. मतलब गुस्सा उबल के कब फूट जाएगा कभी बता नहीं सकते. ठीक है. So what is going on in the mind of the fog? No one can guess. ठीक है. Did he still cherish hope? Did he still believe, now that the door of his prison was closed upon him, that he would succeed? So here the narrator is questioning whether Mr. Fogg was now locked in prison, still had any hope left, मतलब if he has any hope. Did he still believe he could win this wager, he could win this bet, or was all faith gone? मतलब उसको अभी तक विश्वास है कि पूरी जो आशाएं है, होप है, वो सब चला गया. So just a rhetorical question, just as in the introduction, no, not in interrogation, figures of speech, rhetorical question asked, not to expect an answer from the reader. ठीक है. So this kind of rhetorical question is asked. The use of the questions instead of the statements makes the reader share the narrator's doubt and suspense. And again it shows the theme of hope and despair, hope versus despair. Even at the lowest point, the possibility that Fogg might still believe in success reflects his determination. Just want to show that all these things are mentioned here. ठीक है. However, that may have been Mr. Fogg carefully put his watch upon the table and observed in advancing hands. Not a word escaped his lips, but his look was singularly set and stern. ठीक है. So again here about the Phileas Fogg, what is mentioned here? See, read the sentence again. Read the sentence yourself. Mr. Fogg quietly placed his watch on the table. शांति से वो क्या करता है, अपनी घड़ी निकाल के टेबल पे रख देता है. And kept his eyes fixed on its advancing hands. Kept his eyes fixed on his advancing hands. So he didn't say a single word, but his expression was firm and stern. Focus on time. So when he kept his watch on the table, the watch symbolizes his obsession with punctuality, because he has to reach at the Reform Club on time. With punctuality and the critical importance of every passing moment. ठीक है. Next. The situation is in any event was a terrible one, and might be thus stated: if Phileas Fogg was honest, he was ruined. If he was a knave, he was caught. So here about the situation was terrible. ठीक है. The situation was terrible for Phileas Fogg. No matter what if he was honest, he had lost everything, means completely ruined. If he was a knave and had been deceived, ठीक है, if he was knave and had been deceived, then he was trapped, he was caught. Either way, he was hopeless question. Again, the situation is very terrible for Phileas Fogg. No matter what is going to happen, if he was honest, he had lost everything because he had just invested all his money during in this journey. So he was completely ruined. But if he was a knave and had been deceived, then he was trapped, he was caught. Either way, he was a hopeless question. ठीक है. Did escape occur to him? Did he examine to see if there was any practicable outlet from his prison? Did he think of escaping from it? Possibly. For once, he walked slowly around the room. Now, so see this, how many questions are asked here. Okay. The narrator wonders. The narrator again asks questions. If Fogg thought about escaping from the prison, or perhaps he already did, because at least once he slowly walked around the room as if examining it. Means उसने भागने की कोशिश की थी क्या? Because शायद से because he was walking and he was just examining the room, है ना, examine the room. The word possibly shows here. By asking what might have been on Fogg's mind, the narrator creates suspense and makes the readers curious. Even in prison, Fogg doesn't panic. His slow walk shows his thoughtful, composed nature. And here words like possibly and for once, which are used here, stress the mystery of Fogg's inner thoughts. Means what is going on in the mind of the Fogg. So this passage builds just suspense and even the rhetorical question about Phileas Fogg considered escaping. His slow walk around the room, his calm reflection rather than panic one, emphasizing his composed and mysterious character. Okay. But the door was locked and the window heavily barred with iron rods. He sat down again and drew his journal from his pocket. On the line where these words were written, 21st December, Saturday, Liverpool, he added 80th day, 11:40 am and waited. So see here what he has done. ठीक है, क्या करता है ये देखते हैं. ठीक है. So Fogg found no way to escape. भागने का कोई भी रास्ता उसको दिखाई नहीं दे रहा था. The door was locked and the window barred. है ना, bars were there, right? So door was locked and the window barred. So calmly he sat down. And what he does? He just took out the journal and noted the details. Which details? 21st December, Saturday, Liverpool, and then added 80th day, 11:40 am. After that, he simply waited. Even in a desperate situation, Fogg stays composed, calm, okay, instead of panicking. And he just records the exact time and place by writing 80th day 11:40. Fogg shows his continued precision and awareness of time. मतलब इतना टाइम अगर मुझे यहाँ पे रखा गया, then how much time I will take to reach there, means how I will manage. So which is the central to this novel. His decision to wait highlights both his helplessness and again his dignified patience. Okay, so in such a situation also he stays calm. Very important for this. Now the custom house clock struck 1. Mr. Fogg observed that his watch was 2 hours too fast. Okay. When the custom house clock struck 1. When the clock at the custom house struck 1 o'clock, Fogg noticed that his own watch showed a time 2 hours ahead. आगे दिखा रहा था. ठीक है. We already have seen here time is a theme. As a theme, the discovery is crucial. Fogg's obsession about the exact time is what nearly caused him to miscalculate. But it also sets up the dramatic twist that saves him. So here Fogg realizes that his watch is 2 hours fast. An ironic twist is mentioned here. Since he is famed for precision, the incident emphasizes the central role of the time in the novel and prepares the ground for dramatic ending as well. ठीक है? No one can hold time. That we have already have seen, right? 2 hours, admitting that he was at this moment taking an express train. He could reach London and the Reform Club by a quarter before 9 p.m. His forehead slightly wrinkled. Now, here, when he see that his watch is 2 hours ahead, if Fogg left 9, if Fogg left right then, taking an express train, मतलब अभी अगर वो यहाँ से निकलेगा, taking an express train लेके, he could still reach London and the Reform Club by 8:45 p.m. a quarter before 9. But the worry on this face is shown through his slightly wrinkled forehead. है ना? मतलब when intention, जो forehead पे तुमको जो wrinkles आते हैं, so it is clearly shown on his face. He is just calculating the time. अगर मैं यहाँ से अभी निकला, then how much time it will take. ठीक है. Once again the exact calculation shows Fogg's mathematical punctual nature. The possibility is still making it to the Reform Club keeps the reader tense. Means with the Phileas Fogg, even the readers are in tense situation. ठीक है. Now, at 33 minutes past 2, he heard a singular noise outside. Then a hasty opening of doors. Passepartout's voice was audible, and immediately after that, of Fix Phileas Fogg's eyes brightened for an instant. Now, here at 2:33 p.m. ठीक है, at 2:33 p.m. Fogg heard an unusual sound outside. He heard noise outside, followed by hurried opening of doors. ठीक है, means hurriedly someone is opening doors. He heard that. Then he heard Passepartout's voice. And for a brief moment, what happened? That his eyes lit up with hope. मतलब उसको कुछ तो जो hope है वो जैसे lit up हो गया. Positive. The detail 33 minutes past 2. It keeps the tension. Every minute matters in this race against time. Singular noise and hasty openings of doors. It creates anticipation that something important is going to happen. Okay? And when he heard Passepartout's voice, then what happened? Hope lit up. The door swung open and he saw Passepartout, Aouda and Fix, who hurried towards him. So, here, what happened? That the prison door, custom house, the prison door opened and Phileas Fogg saw Passepartout, Aouda and Detective Fix, and all were rushing towards him. It's just a turning point. This is the moment when despair gives way to hope. The Alice, Passepartout and Aouda, and even his former enemy, that is Fix, Detective Fix, come together to free him. So, a kind of dramatic relief. After pages of tension, the sudden opening of the door provides a burst of relief and excitement as well. ठीक है? Now, again what is given here? Fix was out of breath. His hair was in disorder. He could not speak. Sir, he stammered. Sir, forgive me. Most unfortunate resemblance. Robber arrested 3 days ago. You are free. Now see here. Now this Detective Fix, he really feels very guilty. Okay. He really feels very guilty that he has arrested Phileas Fogg. What happened? That previously, from the starting itself, Fix means a kind of doubt is there in Fix's mind. Detective Fix is out of breath and disheveled. Rushes in and admits his mistake, whatever mistake he has done. He stammers an apology to Fogg, explaining that the arrest was because of an unfortunate resemblance. They thought Fogg was the bank robber. The real robber had actually been arrested 3 days earlier. Fix then declares, The fox is free. So the climax of the prison scene shown here. This is a big relaxation, revelation. The whole story delay was caused by the mistaken identity. Fix, who has relentlessly pursued and finally arrested Fogg, now begs forgiveness, and the tension of imprisonment again collapses into relief and outrage at once. ठीक है. See, last paragraph of this page. Phileas Fogg was free. He walked to the detective, looked him steadily in the face, and with the only rapid motion he had ever made in his life, or which he ever would make, drew back his arms and with the precision of a machine knocked Fix down. So what is exactly given in this passage? After being freed, आज़ाद होने के बाद, Fogg calmly walked up to Detective Fix, looked him straight in his eye, and in an uncharacteristically swift move, swift means fast move, struck him down and mechanical precision. So in this passage, the release of Fogg's pent up anger at Fix's wrongful arrest, in an uncharacteristically rapid action, he strikes Fix with mechanical precision. The imagery which is used here highlights his suppressed fury and his nature as a man of exactness, with a moment provides dramatic justice as well. All the Fogg's calm self-control finally breaks for a moment. जो कब से शांत बैठा था, है ना? The blow represents the blotted up humiliation and injustice he suffered, because he has not done any crime. It was not his mistake, but the mistake is of Detective Fix. So that is the main reason he blotted out. So here the narrator notes this was the only rapid motion of his life, which highlights its significance. Fogg, usually calm and retained, reacts with rare physical violence, because this person is of calm nature, right? So now what we have seen, that in anger Phileas Fogg hit Detective Fix, मारता है उसको, ठीक है? And after that what happened? See, well hit, cried Passepartout. Parbleu, that is what you might call a good application of English fist. So Passepartout cheers Fogg's punch, examining that it was well done, using his French-Italian expression, that is perbacco. The shortened form of it is parble. He jokes that the blow was a fine example of English style. Fix, who found himself on the door, not floor, did not utter a word. He had only received his deserts. Mr. Fogg, Aouda and Passepartout left the custom house without delay, got into a cab and in a few moments descended at the station. So what happened? Fix lay on the floor after being struck by fog. फॉग ने मारने के बाद में क्या हो गया? फिक्स ज़मीन पे गिरा था. But stayed silent, accepting that he deserved the blow, क्योंकि उससे ही गलती हुई थी ना. Meanwhile, Fogg, Aouda and Passepartout immediately left the custom house. And quickly, what they do? They took a cab and within few minutes they arrived at the station. So, Fogg wastes no time, leaving immediately with Aouda and Passepartout. His swift actions emphasizes the urgency of time and maintains suspense in the race against the clock as well. ठीक है? So, till here we have completed our novel, page number 192. ठीक है? Moments descended at the station. So, till here we have completed our novel Around the World in 80 Days. We'll continue the same novel in our next online session. Till then, bye-bye.